Supreme Court has ruled in favor of an Ohio policy to remove thousands of registered voters from its rolls if they haven't responded to a notice from state officials. CBS News chief legal correspondent Jan Crawford is on the phone with us. Jan, let's just start off by explaining exactly what does this mean if you're knocked off the registration roll?
Well, I mean, you could always re-register, but I mean, this is a case that looked at an Ohio law that was really designed to try to take people off the voter rolls if they've moved out of the district or the state. So the way they did that was if you didn't vote for 2 years, they would send you this prepaid postage, like a postcard basically, asking you to mail it back and say that you still lived at the address. If you didn't mail back that postcard saying that you still live there and then failed to vote for 4 more years, so now we're talking for a total of 6 years you haven't voted, then they would take you off the voter rolls. They said that was compliant with federal law, and it was important because people do have a tendency to move in this country and certainly in Ohio, and it was a way that they could kind of keep their voter rolls up to date. So today the Supreme Court, in a 5-4 decision, a pretty straightforward decision actually, written by Justice Sam Alito, said that the program was lawful and complied to the letter with federal law.
So, Jan, is this ruling considered a win for Republicans or Democrats in the upcoming midterm elections?
Well, I mean, it depends on who you talk to about that. I mean, obviously, there are groups on the left who say that this is a way of suppressing voter turnout in election. There are groups on the other side who would say absolutely not. It's a way of maintaining integrity of the voting rolls. And as the Supreme Court points out, the Pew Center has estimated that 24 million voter registrations in the U.S., which is about 1 in 8, are either invalid or significantly inaccurate. So keeping that integrity on the voting rolls, they would argue, is important. I think what's really interesting, though, about this case is it's, as a legal matter, I mean, the court is saying Ohio is following federal law. Congress has passed a law for how people, how states can maintain their voter lists, and Ohio is doing that. So if you have a problem with that, you should go to Congress and get them to change the law. And the dissenting justices don't really have a good argument to that. I mean, they say this is Ohio federal courts can go beyond what Congress said because this law seems unreasonable. Justice Sotomayor wrote a dissent saying that the court was failing to take into consideration voter suppression nationwide, but really the ball is in Congress's court, and if they want to make it more difficult for states to take people off the voting rolls after 6 years of not voting, then they can change the law.
All right, Jan Crawford for us. Thank you so much.
Thanks.